Or when do we start taking out the trash? Because everybody is not meant to be respected. Everybody don't deserve a voice, and everybody is not cool just because we the same color. The problem with our community is that we've allowed people that are trash for too long to set the standard.
I agree. Agreed. However, how do we take the, if you saying somebody's trash, how do we deal with them? See, we can't just say, well, because you haven't achieved this mark at this point,
that's not trash. The thing that determines whether or not you can get respected. Money is not the determining factor for whether or not somebody should be respected. That's not the determining. The determining factor is whether or not you're coming into it with good intentions. I got people in my network. Some of the greatest men in history was not the richest.
Right.
It don't have nothing to do with the money. We all got a purpose, right?
Right.
I just so happen to be a dude that had the money, that got the platform, and I reach a different type of audience. I might not be for everybody,
right?
But I am absolutely in a positive way impacting a lot of people in their lives and their families, right? But here's the thing. Agreed. How long do we continue to tolerate the people that add no value whatsoever? And just because they got a black flag, and just because they bought a mug that got the continent of Africa on it, then we supposed to automatically respect them?
Yeah, no, right. Brother, we supposed to automatically respect anybody who comes to us, and then if they behave in a manner which determines that they should not be no longer be respected, then at that point, then maybe that door is open for us to remove them or whatever. But to just openly see, that's what it looked like to us. It looked like to us watching. Now you explained it, and you gave more insight into what was actually going on. But at the time, it looked like, oh, you just jumping on the dude just because she's Kay's friend or whatever. You just jumping on the cat, and that's what it looked like to us. But regardless, whether it's Kay's friend or not, or whose friend or whoever, right? I'm saying if somebody should be, everybody should be respected at a certain level. I'm not saying you put them on a pedestal, but everybody should have a certain amount of human respect.
That's why we've devolved so much as we have, is because we've let the inmates run the asylum.
Why do you disagree with that, brother?
Because everybody does not deserve respect.
Okay, name me somebody who does not deserve respect upon you first meeting them.
Somebody that come into it with intentions to sabotage the platform from its very inception.
Okay, so is there any other way you could have handled that without showing the brother the disrespect?
Yeah, but I chose not to.
Okay, why?
I was willing to live with the consequences, because we need to make examples of some of these people. Everybody that got a voice don't need to talk. Some of these people need to sit back.
Agreed.
And listen.
Agreed.
And just because you black don't mean that we align with you. We need to take out the trash.
Agreed. Let's get back to that, because we're gonna agree to disagree. Let's get back to that, brother. If you got a minute, brother AD, let me can we take some questions from the people that want to ask a question? Because I got one of JP, the aspiring Maycheck, wants to ask you a question. At Anton, do you believe a softer approach is necessary considering the current mental health climate?
No, absolutely not. I think men have been coddled for too long, and that's why we weak. We weak. There is no rite of passage. Everybody gets a participation trophy. Everybody can say what they want to say and don't have to be accountable for it. And I think that men need to suffer, and we need to go through things, and we need to throw away all of this secret on code bull crap so that we can actually progress. The only thing I care about is the results. I don't care about all of this, how you feel, John. We worse off than we've ever been, we freer than we've ever been at the same time. What's the correlation? Why does that make sense? We coddled. Too many of us been raised by our mothers. Too many of us have been picked up every time we scrape our knee. We go through things, we suffer, we grow, and we become warriors, and those are the people that should be leading the tribe, not the people that's the most popular.
But brother, this is my disagreement with that. I agree with you. Everybody should not talk, because some people don't know what they're talking about. That's like if Hannibal was trying to tell us about how to get money and how to get our financial situation together, I would say, no, leave that to Anton. That's Anton's lane. Don't try to talk in that lane.
But who determines who makes the rules? Because largely we have an environment that your leaders are a reflection of the people. And if the majority of the people is suffering and off, how are they the ones that determine who should be in leadership?
Well,
How
that's
can you
why
have the people that are on the bottom determining who their leaders are? That's crazy to me.
well,
That
right.
would be like my wife telling me how to run our household. No, this is not a partnership. This is a benevolent dictatorship. I consider your ideas and I consider what it is that you bring to the table because I recognize the great aspects of who you are. But let's be clear, the buck stops here because I got to be responsible for both the wins and the losses. If this house goes down and the man come and foreclose on things and we lose everything we got, they're not going to come to her and say, hey, what's wrong with y'all? They're going to come to me.
Agreed.
And so because I have to be the leader and stand up on what it is that we are supposed to do, and I got to be the man that I would want my daughter to marry, and I got to provide the provision and protection, and because I'm the one that ultimately makes the decision. This is not a democracy. This is a benevolent dictatorship, and the people at the bottom don't get to determine who the leader is. It's rites of passage. I've proven myself over and over and over again, and so the leadership is determined. Who people follow is determined by who's the most successful and who they feel most protected under. And I would venture to say the people that they feel the most protected under is the one that's the most powerful and the one that stands up on their ethics and principles and are unwilling to take the elevator. They know what it feels like to take the steps. So I don't let the inmates determine how to run the asylum. I run the asylum.
Yeah, brother. I mean, I have no issue with that. I think that it's a good show.
Men are weak, man. Men are weak now. They are weak.
I know this, brother. This is my whole point of talking to you. Our people are weak, and they need to see people, brothers like yourself, that have actually hit the launch pad and took off. Right? They need to see you. But if we talk to them with disrespect, then even though because they're not successful or maybe they're sick, because a lot of our people are sick and they just don't know they're sick. And so we have to talk to them in a way to try to get them better. At least that's from my perspective. It's just like
sometimes you got to cut off one bad apple can ruin a bunch. And sometimes you got to throw that baby out. Everybody not meant to come. Everybody, you can't. No, but listen, and then we can agree to disagree. But I'm just telling you that this is 300, man. This is Sparta. Sometimes the weak kids got to get out of here. We need strong people. We're not looking to baby everybody. Sometimes you got to get these people. Everybody not gonna come. You gotta eliminate the weakness and roll with it. Otherwise, you're gonna ruin the entire batch. This is not the feel good Olympics, man.
I agree. I agree with you on that, brother. I'm talking about having a conversation on, let's say, for example, and then I wouldn't even say anything on your Anton Daniels After Dark. Hey man, you could come with somebody because they got this. If they want to stay and let that happen, that's fine. But I'm talking about on the Peep Network where you got a panel of people trying to talk to one person
that we created, me and my brother.
And it's a beautiful show, brother. That's the only reason why the ones of us that's mad at you, we're saying, hey man, it's a good show. Please don't scare people from coming back on there because they see how they have the misunderstanding. See, if you hadn't explained what happened, I would still have that misunderstanding of what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying when you have people come on, brother, and even though you may not know them, but you feel like, hey, you have bad intentions, I feel like you're smart enough to be able to maneuver around them and still hold that same respect and put them in a position where either they're going to step up to the plate or they're going to leave.
No, sometimes you got to put a sledgehammer to an ant.
I agree. Sometimes
in order to make an example of certain people, and it's all calculated. I'm a chess player. I've been playing chess my whole life. I'm 15 moves ahead. So, some people just gonna have to trust that I know what I'm doing and let me lead us. let me take us there.
Let me ask you a question, brother. What was accomplished by doing that then?
I made an example of them. I set the standard to help people to understand that everybody not meant to be a part of the conversation. And the next time that somebody cams up and they want to participate on a platform, understand that you're going to have to come in with good intentions, because if you come in here with bad intentions, it's a possibility that it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And so A lot of people clout chasing. A lot of people trying to do things with wrong intentions, and so sometimes you gotta use them as an example in order to illustrate a point.
I get you now, brother. Cause see, I don't have that many subscribers and that much activity, so I wouldn't know. That's a good explanation of that situation, because the rest of us, we just want to know, hey, why would you do something like that? But now I see there's even a point. There's some logic in that. I get you. I get you. I got it. But still, let's get back to the question of, does money make you better? You already answered the question. Does money make you better? Now, well, let me ask you this. Did you see the situation with Tasha K and the lead attorney? Have you been keeping an eye on that situation?
I'm not really familiar with it. I seen that he made a video talking about her releasing evidence, and then something they got into it and she apologized. I'm completely out of the loop, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, basically, she made a lot of personal attacks on the man. And this is why I put her name in the thing, because one of her main points of contention was that the lead attorney made a video about how he makes 27 grand a month, right? Very like yourself, very open book guy. Okay. So she said $27,000 a month. That's a slow month for her. That's a month where if she's not doing it. Okay. Yeah, we get that. But in your opinion, does that give her the right to attack him personally because she makes more money than him?
What did she say about him personally?
She said a lot of different things about him personally, like she talked about.
Oh, I'm not familiar with it, honestly.
Okay, well, she
took it down.
She took it down, but she basically said a bunch of things about if you really want the El Guapo, he made a video about it in which he wrote down every insult that she hurled at him. But make a long story short, she was talking about his bedroom vernacular. She's talking about, him not being a real attorney. If he was a real attorney, he wouldn't have time to be on the internet. He's a gossip attorney. Just attacking him personally. Just really serious personal attacks. And my question to you is, do you think that, or what's your feeling about her saying that because she makes more money, she can attack him personally?
I don't think based off of what you said, I don't think that she's saying that because she makes more money, that's what she's saying it.
Well, that's how she scripted it. She said, I make more money. Here's another thing she said. She said, you must feel bad because you did all them years in college and you only making 27 grand, and I'm making way more than that, and I haven't finished no college, done no college out there like that. I mean, she really dug into him, man, really bad. She took it off. She took it off, man. She took it down. I guess some people got to her. So she said she was gonna dox the man. She put his real name out there. She just did a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, man. She was really on one. Very masculine frame. She went in, and I don't have.
I would say that two things. Okay. Well, let me say three things. A is real out here in these YouTube streets, right?
Right.
B, I always operate in a space of the art of war, right? And that
good book.
You gotta pick your enemies carefully, right? And then C, you gotta be willing to deal with whatever comes with it. Apparently, she's willing to deal with whatever comes with it, and he's willing to deal with whatever comes with going at her and making a whole video about her. So, you just got to pick and choose your enemies very, 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 very carefully.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm not even trying to get you in the middle of that situation. What I'm saying is, if a person,
you ask me anything, I'm cool.
If a person has more money, like say, let's pretend I got more money than you, Anton. You got 2 billion, I got 10 billion. Because you got the 2 billion, I got the 10 billion, I can come at you and say, Anton is this, is that, and he's this and that, he's this and that, and I can talk about you like a dog.
You gotta be careful. I mean, did he mention her? What made her even say it in the first place?
Well, what happened?
See, we're not asking the questions that we need to ask. We need that. If you really want to understand the art of war, especially as it relates to two people that are very powerful, league on the come up, Tasha already there. If you really want to understand the art of war, you got to ask what incited this in the first place, right?
Well, what incited it was the R. Kelly trial. The government wants to talk to her about how she got some documents or some information about the R. Kelly, about some of the R. Kelly incidents. She allegedly obtained it illegally, obtained this information illegally. So the lead attorney was trying to do a video. He did a video, and it wasn't directed directly at her, Tasha K, in
I
particular.
seen a part of that video. I'll
Right.
say this: when you start to become a content creator, I don't really know what's fair and what's not. I just know that as you grow, you got to know what come with it. It's gonna be people that disagree with you. It's gonna be people that do reaction videos to you. It's gonna be people that come at you, especially if you one of the bigger people. Like as you grow, as your platform grow, as you get more visibility, you just got to know what come with it. And so I just think that it's expected. I don't really, honestly, I don't even really go by fair or not fair. I don't believe in that at all.
Okay.
I just believe in results and actions versus consequences, and it just plays out how it plays out.
Good answer, brother. I'm not going to try to drag you through that no more, because I want to ask you something that really makes sense. What made you get the idea of setting up the Lepeak Network, and how did you do that? If you could answer that, as best as you can.
Yeah. So JR, I already had a platform, my regular, so I got a few different channels, and then I own some channels with some content creators that a lot of people don't even realize that I'm a part of. But I understand content creation. I have the resources to be able to put behind certain people, and I'm always looking for talent. So JR was rocking with me because he was a subscriber to my channel when I was kind of talking about building my restaurant. And we both had Jeeps, right? We both had bought these Jeeps. And so he shot me a DM, and we was talking back and forth because I thought, he was just a dope dude. Like we was just friends, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't about no network, wasn't about none of that. And so he was like, "Hey, Anton, come check this out." And so he was just doing like a little a Facebook. It was just streaming live on Facebook on a specific night or whatever. Every once in a while, he had kind of started this thing. And just based off of the friendship, I was like, "Fam, I'll get behind you. I got your back. I think that you got a little, a dope thing or whatever, and it's awesome." And so I think I could take it to the next, I show up. No, I wasn't even on to take it to the next level. I was just like, "Yo, I show up on the next platform. I turned it up for you." And he was like, "All right." I was like, "I'm gonna be authentically myself, so I don't know how that's gonna go." And he was laughing. So I jumped on, and everybody went absolutely crazy. Wasn't even on YouTube. It was just on Facebook.
Okay.
And everybody in the chat was just going absolutely insane about the fact that I was saying some stuff that made people uncomfortable, but it was the truth. It was the truth. I mean, because very few people at this space are in a position to be able to not worry about losing a job or whatever.
Right.
I had already leveled up to the point to where you can't cancel me. I'm already good.
Right.
And so I was saying some stuff that made people uncomfortable, but it was real. And so, we did it a couple more times, and then JR was like, "Hey, we need to partner up." And I'm like, "All right, bet. Well, if we're going to do this, let's do it till the wheels fall off, and let's push this thing all the way." And so we partnered up. I'm not going to go into the details of the business arrangements, but
right, of course,
we just had similar interests. We partnered up, and we the perfect tag team, and we're going to take this thing to the moon.
You guys, man, let me tell you, man, you guys got a damn good product, man. And the only, as a fan and a subscriber, man, I just hope you guys, just keep growing. I see your growth, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate
we completely like, we not opposite. We very aligned. But what makes him unique and what makes me unique, we really have been able to figure out how to separate responsibilities in order to be able to grow the platform the way it needs to be. So that's my guy. That's my homie. That's my bro.
Okay. And so how long you guys been friends?
2 years.
Okay.
Yep, 2 years, something like that. Maybe less, maybe a little bit less.
What do you think is because I think you guys have a good business. What do you think is it about you guys working together? Is it just the chemistry, or everybody knows where they're supposed to be at, or whatever? What is it that makes you guys so successful?
I only do business with people of good character.
Okay.
I knew JR before we got into this. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna be homies regardless. And so when we would talk on the phone, and this is before the network junk and any of that type of stuff, right? When we would talk on the phone, I would just be pouring into him, and he would, we would just become best friends. And I was like, hey, man, I don't think you should do that. Hey, I know your homie's going to tell you this, but I think that this is the best way for you to go. I was giving him insight on the money tip and how you can manage things a little bit differently. And we was just genuinely wanting to see each other be great. And so I got a chance to find out who he really was, in his real life, and who he was as a person. We opened up to each other, and we was cool, and we was dope, and we had never even met each other, right? And then that was
so
the
you guys
thing
all got together, and I don't know where.
Well, that was later. That was way later.
Okay.
But I knew who he was as a person, and that was the thing that helped me to determine whether or not I was going to rock with him. It had nothing to do with the network, nothing to do with the business opportunities. The money didn't mean anything. It was all about whether or not he was a good dude. Because I rock with people of great character. I don't do all money ain't good money to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, it got to be the right type of money. It got to be the right type of opportunity. And so I was just like, yo, once he showed me the platform, and I was like, I think I can take this to the next level and do what I do and get behind it in the way that I get behind it. And that was the thing that propelled us. It had nothing to do with anything with regard to business, the network. It was all just about, you a dope dude, I rock with you, and I got your back.
All right. Have you ever had an experience where you did try to do some business with somebody that wasn't of a certain character and it went wrong or whatever?
Nope. Because I only do business with people that's in my network.
Okay.
Like if somebody come to me with a business opportunity, I'm not even interested. I'm only interested in doing business with people that I know is of good character. Because think about it. Let's just say you a genius, right? You're a phenomenal restaurateur, right? And I know what I know from a business perspective, and I've owned restaurants, I've built them from scratch, whatever. And you're like, let's partner up, Anton. And I don't know who you are from a character perspective. And let's say we start to do business together, right? And then along the way, we doing good, we doing fine, the business is fine or whatever. And you say, you know what? I know how we can increase margins. We're going to have to make some sacrifices on the quality of the food, but it's still going to be above board, and that, the standards of it will pass federal regulations and health inspections and everything like that. But it's just going to be a little bit better, but it's going to make us a whole lot more money in time. I'm unwilling to make that sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm unwilling to do business with people of good character because eventually at some point there's going to come a crossroads where we're going to have to make a determination of whether or not we put money above the purpose or what it is that we're doing. And I'm unwilling to put money above anything. I think that the money is a reflection of good character. Okay. It shouldn't be the thing that defines what it is that you do. I don't do everything for money. I do it because it's the right thing to do, and then I get rewarded for it on the back end.
Wow, man, I'm getting a lot of insight on you, man. I'm glad you cammed up, man, because I'm getting a better picture of you, man, and I really appreciate it, man. So what is it?
Let's answer this question.
Okay, so let's answer the question, brother Daniel Madden. I thought you was gone, brother. What happened? Big AD came on. Now you coming back. Why did he wait until you decided to shut down the show and then he's deciding to come on? Straight narcissism. Yeah, why'd you do that, brother AD?
Well, as you indicated earlier, and you already know, I stream on Sundays at a certain time.
I'll let you explain that.
Everybody know that I stream on Sundays I start my stream